All right.
Welcome. First episode.
Yep. Who's speaking?
You're speaking.
Yes, I am.
And who are you?
I'm Dushin. I'm him. I'm the guy. Who are you?
I am Andy.
Hello, Andy.
What is that? Ooh.
No idea.
First, we gotta crack a bang.
There you go. All right. So
I'm very low on energy right now, but let's get it started.
We did have a long day yesterday. But it's all right. So I think the biggest topic should be Taylor Swift. Good or bad for football?
She made Kelsey.
You think so?
Who is Kelsey?
I don't know. Travis Kelce, I think he might have been a nobody before.
No, that's so stupid. Who is Taylor Swift?
Now,
from a guy's point of view.
Yeah,
from a guy's point of view. I don't listen to Taylor.
I did not know that Taylor Swift was that big before she started dating Travis Kelce.
No, I'm gonna be real. I knew she was.
I did not.
She was her.
She was her.
She was her.
I thought Beyonce. I thought everyone was fucking in love with Beyonce. I didn't know that Taylor Swift was the thing.
But Kelsey?
Oh, Kelsey.
Kelsey.
If you follow any kind of sports, you know who Travis Kelce is.
Exactly.
He's literally one of the greatest tight ends ever in the sport of football. So,
would you throw him up there with the best?
Yes.
I'm talking Antonio Gates.
I don't remember the guy's name from
Dallas?
from Atlanta.
Tony Gonzalez.
I put him up there with Gronkowski. Yes. Travis Kelce is definitely one of the greatest all-time tight ends.
What about Aaron Hernandez?
No. I think he's one of the most infamous tight ends of all time, but I would not put him up there with best. But no, I think it's kind of hard. So after the first game, I fucking hated it. I fucking hated that all these what do they call them? Swifties.
Yeah.
The Taylor Swift fans. I fucking hated that all those Swifties were only watching football to fucking see Taylor Swift. I despised it.
They put Travis Kelce on the map.
Oh my god! Again, that's some bullshit.
I think that's all.
That's
stupid.
some bullshit.
It's stupid for sure.
But after last week, Kansas City overtook everyone else as the most watched team in football. And if you can take that away from Dallas, I'm for it.
Why? Because Dallas is America's team?
They're America's team for no fucking reason.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like what you're saying right now is on the views of Kansas City, the most watched. I mean, by views, that might be true.
They made up half of the most watched games last year.
Niners are them.
No. I think
them,
no one.
Them.
Yes.
Without pronouns.
Yes.
Them.
They're not they, them. They're just them.
They're them.
But no, like, for real. Like, I genuinely... I don't think anyone can doubt right now that the Niners are the number one team in football. Especially after what we just saw happen to Buffalo.
I don't know. I got into a pretty deep debate with the defense. I guess Cleveland Browns are the best defense in football right now.
What?
Yeah.
According to who?
By numbers and everything.
You're lying to me. Right?
And I looked it up, and it was. I swear to God.
Pull that shit up, brother.
I swear to God, if you look at the numbers, it is true.
They're the fucking Browns.
That's why I was like, why? What are you guys talking about? And then I looked it up, and they're number one in everything.
Bro, that's more shocking to me than finding out that pure honey is flammable. I know Andy loved that debate yesterday. And yes, people, I had to look that shit up myself. Pure honey is incredibly flammable. Like, you can blow up your house and fucking kill your family doing that shit. We tested it out
for sure.
We did test it out, and it fucking worked.
Yeah.
I even fucking had to go an extra length just because you wanted to see it. But this fucking Cleveland Brown thing, like, I want to know this. There's no fucking way they're the number one defense in football.
How do you feel about tonight's game, though, for the Niners and Dallas?
Oh, you want to get to that so fast?
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm fucking
my god. Holy shit.
I mean, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, energy-wise, but, like, I'm hyped.
Well, that's why you got the bang.
Yep.
But, oh my god, dude. I haven't been this excited for a regular season game in fucking years.
This is kind of like
This is the first postseason game, and it's happening in October.
This is the Super Bowl to me right now. Not
For the regular season,
not the
yes.
actual Super Bowl, because I don't think it's going to be Dallas versus the Niners, obviously.
Well, obviously,
but as far as excitement in games so far, this is.
Oh, 100%, 100%. This will be the biggest game in the regular season. There's no way you can fucking doubt that. I do think that the Niners are the better team. There are a couple things, and I know you fucking get on me for being doubtful of the Niners.
Yeah.
I'm not doubtful of the Niners. I'm just realistic, right? So for me, if number one, the Cowboys get a lead early, that's when they fucking demolish teams, right? So if we can keep them from getting hot, you son of a bitch, you're right. The Cleveland Browns are the number one defense right now.
It's wild, right?
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, they like on their schedule and everything like that, and their records. It doesn't.
Well,
but
they're
the
actually
numbers
giving up more points per game than we are. We're at 14.5. They're at 15. Dallas is at 10.5. So we're tied for second.
Well,
in
that's
least
just
points
that
per
category.
Game.
That's just that category.
Yeah, but overall, yes, the fucking Browns are the number one defense.
Wild, right?
That's nuts.
And I went into that conversation debate with that other individual. Strong, like, nah, there's no way you guys are beating the Niners or the Dallas right now, right? And then they're like, look it up. The stats are saying everything else is like they're covered everything.
Here's what's nuts is there are a few really important stats that the Niners are leading them on. Like number one, rush yards. We're only giving up 66 rush yards per game, right? They're giving up 71.8.
I think we have the most pressure though out of everybody.
Yes. But here's the fucking crazy. I cannot believe this stat.
Mm-hmm.
Passing yards on the season, they've only given up 500 total fucking yards in 4 games. Yep. That's 125 yards. That's fucking nothing. I can't believe that.
Mm-hmm. It shocked me too when I first.
Bro, we're giving up 218 passing yards per game. They're giving up 100. They're giving up almost half the passing yards that we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. That's fucking
a little shocker,
wild.
Huh?
That's a massive shock.
I don't think they're going to be a threat.
Me neither, but still.
But
wow. The number one defense in football is the fucking Browns. When's the last time you heard that fucking
a while.
That fucking statement? It's been a long time. Okay, so I gave my thoughts on tonight's game. I think that if we can keep Dallas from scoring on us early, right? I think that we're going to dominate the rest of the game. What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a defensive game. I think it's going to be...
So you think it's going to be low scoring?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, you got to think about it. Everybody is in debate that Dallas is the best defense right now, and other people are saying that Niners are the best defense. Obviously, there's other teams like the Browns, but they're not part of the conversation right now. So, I mean, our offense is good, and their offense can be great too.
Yep.
What happened here?
I don't know. Someone's down for... Is it for the Lions? Jesus Christ. 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first quarter, and they're already at 14. That's wild. But
yeah, I think it's going to be a defensive game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. And, it's just going to be based off of the defense.
So, now, let me comment on the scoring.
They lose Diggs, though. So
they did lose Diggs. But here's the thing. Dallas has come out and tried to beat us at our own game during the last 2 playoff games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they've tried to come out with their defense, and then it was a low-scoring game. You don't think that they're going to try to do the opposite this time and be like, hey, we can't keep it like this, so they're going to come out shooting to try to get a bigger score quicker? You don't think that that's a possibility?
I mean, they can.
This might be the game where they unleash Dak, is what I'm saying.
I mean, but what does unleashing Dak even mean? Because he hasn't been
letting
solid.
Him throw. McCarthy's been keeping him in check all season, just so he doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't want a repeat of last year.
So you think that how important the game is? Do you think they're just going to play it freestyle and just let Dak do what he wants?
I think that that's a very strong possibility. Because otherwise, they're not going to beat the Niners. They've already proven that the last 2 years. And this isn't even nearly as big as the playoff games, obviously. But they got to do something different. McCarthy has to do something different. If he just comes out and tries to play the Niners game again, they're just going to get beat. The only chance I genuinely think they have is to try to let Dak loose. They're not going to be able to run the ball, right?
Yeah,
Pollard,
obviously.
he's not the threat that everyone thought he was going to be this year, right?
They still have CeeDee Lamb.
Of course they have CeeDee Lamb. That's what I'm saying. I think during this game they're going to try to use him.
And there's been a lot of talk about Jake Ferguson doing hella good lately.
True. But again, I think this is the game, right, where McCarthy, if he doesn't see it, like if he doesn't recognize that they have to do something different to beat the Niners, then he really should be fired, right? Like I'm not on board the train that McCarthy needs to go, like so many people are. But if in this game he doesn't try to do something different, and it's just another fucking repeat of the last two playoff games, where they try to play the Niners game, I do think that he needs to get let go. Because that means he can't beat the big teams in the big moments. This isn't even the playoffs, it's the regular season. And if you don't do something different to try to win your team the game, then what the fuck are you there for?
That's true, it's true.
Right? Like, it's McCarthy. Look, I've never considered McCarthy even a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I think he has been very lucky in the talent that he's been able to coach, and I think he's gotten a lot of overhype because of it. Kind of like Belichick. I've never thought that Belichick was the most amazing head coach. Before Tom Brady, he was a 50-50 coach, right? And after Tom Brady, he's not even 50-50. He's a losing coach, right?
I say that all the Super Bowls came through Bill.
But with Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Since Tom Brady's been gone, his record is a losing record. Or at most 50-50, I think. But if you look at New England this year, they're arguably the worst team in football.
Well, you also got to think that before Tom Brady left, there was Gronk that left.
Yes.
And then he lost other key pieces to the defense. So
But
basically, right after Tom Brady left, they were rebuilding.
Yeah, but you got to remember
they're going off of Mac Jones. And Mac Jones is still trying to find his way.
True, but you got to remember, Tom Brady won multiple Super Bowls with fucking shit to pass to.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, he had the years with Randy Moss. Yes, he had plenty of years with Gronkowski. But there was Super Bowls that they won.
Let's not forget Aaron Hernandez.
You fucking Aaron Hernandez. That's what we call the murderer's row. But no, for real though,
was him.
He was him. He was
with him and him and him and him.
But no, there were years where Tom Brady was still able to do his thing, and he won a Super Bowl without having anyone to pass to. Really, like he made very mediocre players look fantastic because of who he was. And when Belichick and Brady finally had the falling out, I think that they both wanted to prove that they could still do it without each other, right? Tom Brady proved it, Belichick is not. Which tells me that Belichick is probably the most overhyped coach in history. He had one of the greatest players of all time leading his fucking team.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but when you're that good as Tom Brady, it doesn't make you the best coach. Right?
Yeah.
No one can doubt that
Tom Brady was running everything.
Exactly. Like, no one can doubt Bill Walsh. No one can doubt, like, a lot of amazing coaches. Yes, they had fantastic talent around them, but they're the ones who built that up. Right? It wasn't like Tom Brady. Tom Brady fell into that position because Bledsoe got hurt.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't like Belichick made this fucking amazing decision to draft Tom Brady, then started him, and boom, he was right. He got an amazing player out of him.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not trying to compare him. I'm not trying to compare Purdy to Brady, but
I would.
No, I wouldn't. But not
through his first
12
starts, 13 starts.
Nah, he's not even in that conversation yet.
I don't know.
What I'm saying is that
more than Brady.
What I'm saying is that we had a quarterback. It was Trey Lance, but before Trey Lance, it was Garoppolo. The reason why Trey Lance got his shine,
it was because Garoppolo
went down.
Yep.
Trey Lance went down, and that's why Purdy is where he is right now.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like same thing. Bledsoe went down. Brady was drafted late in the draft, and he got his shine, and it just happened to go that way. And it's just how it happened. I'm not saying Purdy is like Brady as far as skill.
Yeah.
But as situational, he's in
perfect.
the same. He's in the same situation.
Yeah.
He's put into a great system that matches his skills, and he's perfect for the scheme.
Yes. But here's where I do think you can compare him to Tom Brady, right? Obviously, he doesn't have the track
I don't
record.
know if I can.
But here's the thing. Bledsoe, right, was a very good quarterback. Tom Brady came in and was right off the jump just a little bit better than Bledsoe, which got him the job. Just like Purdy came in and was a little bit better than Lance and Garoppolo, which got him the job.
Yeah.
If he continues down this path that he has been, right, he was fantastic at the end of last season. This season, he is the most efficient quarterback in the entire NFL. No one can fucking doubt that. Through 4 games, he's the most efficient, most consistent quarterback in the NFL. If he continues along that path, he will be, in a very short time, put up there with those kinds of quarterbacks, right? Like, there's no way he can't be. And with the team that he has around him, there is no reason to not expect that he's going to have a few Super Bowl rings in a very short amount of time. Mm-hmm. We're too good of a team, right? And we're paying him damn near nothing.
But it's our window. It's our window, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right now's our window. But that's what I'm saying. It's like how when Mahomes came into Kansas City, he came in during that perfect window. Look what they've done with it. They've won 2 fucking Super Bowls. They look amazing, right? So I think that Purdy has done the same thing. He's obviously a very different quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right? He's not as agile. He doesn't make those wild throws while he's falling down, all that crazy shit. But I also don't think it should be held against him. Like, people keep saying, I want to see how he plays when he's down. I want to see him play through adversity. It's not his fault that he's good enough to make sure he's not in that position. Right? He doesn't let his team get down. He doesn't let his team come to that kind of adversity.
I don't think it's just him, though. I don't think it's just him letting his team get down. It's our defense. His defense is carrying us for sure.
Yes, 100%. But
I'm not saying
I wouldn't say they're carrying us. Our offense is holding their own. Our offense is the highest scoring offense in the NFL right now. Right? Besides maybe Miami, but that was because of one game. You take that one out, right?
Yeah, the following week
it's like Dallas, right? Their defense is literally scoring them 14 points every week. Mm-hmm. You take that out, Dallas is not that spectacular.
Yeah.
Right? That takes your score from being 16
now,
to 30.
Can you make that argument about Purdy? If Purdy was not the quarterback, if our offense wasn't what it is right now, you think somebody else can thrive into that offense, just like Purdy? Or do you think Purdy is actually skilled to lead the offense, or is he just being carried by the offense?
I definitely don't think he's being carried. It is much more difficult to operate an offense the way the coach absolutely intends it to than people think it is. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, he has to do everything right. He doesn't give up the ball. He fucking puts the ball in the hands of, like, he runs it perfectly to what Kyle Shanahan wants. If it was that easy, all the quarterbacks would be doing it. Right? The reason that Mahomes is so special is because he doesn't run the offense exactly like Reid wants, but he's still able to do something with it because of his mobility. Mm-hmm. Right? That's why Russell Wilson was great for a while. That's why all these quarterbacks since Michael Vick came in the league, right? They don't have to run the offense exactly according to plan. Yeah. Right? And now it's even seen as a bonus if you are able to do something different and use your feet to do something else, right? That's why so many quarterbacks, especially Vic really started it. You saw it a lot with even Roethlisberger, fucking Russell Wilson, all that shit. And then Kaepernick came in and he did it at such a high level, and I fucking hate Kaepernick. You know that. Just like I hated Trey Lance. I don't know why you rode the Trey Lance train for so fucking long.
I was heavily invested into his rookie cards.
Oh my God.
I was heavily invested in the rookie cards.
For so long. We, just fucking cut Trey Lance. And you were like, dude, we gave him so much to get him. We gave him so much to get him. So what? Like, at a certain point, you just... And I'm not saying it's even his fault. I'm not. Because, look, the dude just has the worst luck in the history of quarterbacking.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that motherfucker just gets hurt.
He just gets hurt. He's like glass.
Exactly. And it's not his fault. It's something in his genetics where he gets hit hard enough and boom, something's broken. Something rips.
I don't know, but also the quarterbacks.
That would have been an amazing catch right there if he would have caught that.
So some quarterbacks thrive on other teams with different coaches and different schemes.
True.
So maybe
look at fucking Baker Mayfield.
Maybe it's not too late to hold back on this. But say Trey Lance does turn out to be something. If Dak, so put it this way.
Are you saying you still have hope for Trey Lance in Dallas?
Well, he's still young.
He is
That's
still
what I'm
young.
saying.
He is still actually Brock Purdy's older than Trey Lance. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Brock Purdy is like 6 months older than Trey Lance.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But still, what I'm saying is the guy's still young. So he can still thrive if he gets put into the right situation.
Yeah.
Now, there's been big questions about Dak and how he's been carrying the team throughout the couple of years.
Yep.
So I think if Dak does not do it this year, there might be a question mark on maybe we should put Trey in there.
On that I agree. I agree that this is Dak's. This is his last chance. There's no way.
I wouldn't say last chance, but it's the
with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think that if he doesn't do it this year, there's only so many times that fucking what's the owner's name of the Cowboys?
Jones.
Jerry Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so many times he can defend him when he clearly fucks up. And even at the end of the last preseason game, Jerry Jones was like, our quarterback needs to do better. Like, all the interviews that he's done before this game, he's pretty much telling Dak, you need to step the fuck up. Like, I paid you this money. I gave you control of this team. You've given me nothing for it.
Yeah.
You've given me one postseason win against a very shitty Tampa Bay team, literally at the end of Tom Brady's career.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he did great in that game, and then he played us, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Right? And he's the one who cost them the game both times. Right? Poor clock management, like poor decision making, like the fucking pick that he threw, right, to end the game this last postseason game. That was it.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that this is.
So you think the question has already been raised?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Now Jerry Jones can't straight up come out and say that. Neither can Mike McCarthy. But
I think he kind of did say it by picking up Trey Lance.
Exactly.
Because he picked him up, and who knows the possibilities of the future.
Exactly.
And he's already having question marks in if Dak's the guy.
Yes. And you know what, though? Here's another thing about Trey Lance. Now, I've never liked... He's a perfectly nice guy, right? Just like Dak Prescott is. I've never said anything about his character, but as a player, I didn't like him for our team. Mm-hmm. One thing he did do that I thought was a positive is... And I think last season, it was such an exclamation point, you couldn't avoid it anymore. Our offensive line was by far the most lacking part of our team.
It always has.
By far the most lacking part of our team. The amount of times that the defensive players got to our quarterback was insane. And it's why I actually liked Garoppolo more than a lot of people, because he was always getting touched. Like, how often did he release the ball and players' fingertips were on it?
Do you think that's why he threw short passes the majority of the time he was in San Francisco?
I do. Yes, I do.
Just 5 and 10 yards here and there?
100%.
Because we didn't have an O-line protector.
Exactly. Besides Trent Williams...
I mean, if you think about it, he is throwing farther passes now.
Yes, he is.
In Oakland.
Yes. But here's the problem. Garoppolo went into one bad offensive line to an even worse offensive line.
So then why is he launching him now?
Because he knows this is it for him.
Maybe because they have Adams?
I mean, probably. But I think he's trying to do more than what that team is capable of, because he knows this is it for him. If he fails at the Raiders, he doesn't have another opportunity after this.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like there's a lot of people who doubted Garoppolo's abilities, and they said, he's only doing well under Kyle Shanahan. And if he fails with the Raiders, I think everyone's going to be like, yeah, Garoppolo proved everyone else correct in that he could only be successful under Kyle Shanahan. So I definitely think he's going to try to do whatever he can to prove that he can still be a franchise quarterback. And I do think he could. I think... Now, here's a crazy a pick for me, right? I think Garoppolo would have done amazing with the Jets. I said that before they got Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's the same situation with Purdy, though. He'll be put into a system that is pretty much complete. with the Jets.
Well, I just mean that the Jets have a pretty solid offensive line, right?
True.
But Zach Wilson doesn't have the talent. Now he has flashes, but he's too in his head, right? Just like he got last season, right? Like he'll do very well, and then something happens, and he gets in his head, and he fucks up.
Do you think the veteran knowledge would have helped a lot?
100%. Yes, I think that the Jets should have done more, especially with the Aaron Rodgers trade taking so long.
But the Aaron Rodgers decision was a great decision.
It was, right? I just didn't like the way he went about it. The fact that he required like multiple players and multiple coaches for him to come there.
Yeah.
And the Jets, like, they completely bowed down to him. And we're just like, all right, fine, we'll give you whatever you want, just come here. Right?
Yeah.
Now, who do you think, especially now what we know with how Aaron Rodgers got hurt, do you think that the Jets would be better with Garoppolo or Zach Wilson?
Garoppolo for sure.
Exactly. I think that they would still be a playoff contender if they had Garoppolo. And he could run that team until Aaron Rodgers got back.
But there's no way of signing Garoppolo and Aaron Rodgers.
Of course you could have.
There's no way they could afford that.
They're paying shit for everyone else on their team. They're paying nothing. I'm pretty sure the Jets, here, let me look it up. I'm pretty sure the Jets have a bunch of cap room just like the Niners. Not as much, obviously. But I know Aaron Rodgers took a lot. But Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get... He got, what, 60-something million for 3 years?
I don't even remember
That's $20 million a year. That's not insane, dude. Bro, Aaron Rodgers had more guaranteed money than that.
They literally had everything riding on Aaron Rodgers, and they didn't.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They went in riding everything on Aaron Rodgers. They waited until halfway through the offseason, right? Because they were trying to put together everything that Aaron Rodgers wanted. Mm-hmm. I think Robert Saleh and the ownership there they completely bowed down. And again, I think for them, this was supposed to be the make or break season. Like, this was their best shot, right? With that defense that they have and some of the players that they had developed. I think that they thought this was their shot to do what the Rams did a couple years ago, right? Yeah. Bring in a few key players, win a Super Bowl, right? I think that's what they were trying to do. Now, as far as the game tonight, right? One of the most interesting things I'm thinking of is... Now, obviously, I don't think if they play that way, like I said, the last two seasons...
Dallas and the Niners.
Dallas and the Niners, right? If they play the 49ers game, I do believe that they're going to lose again. That being said, do you think there's any possibility that the Dallas defense comes out and just single-handedly wins them the game? And do you think,
you heard about that story about Trey Lance, right?
Which story?
Trey Lance is working, well, obviously because he's on Dallas now. The coaching staff and everything is picking Trey Lance's brain about our team, about knowing all the plays.
Of course, that I knew. I thought that was the whole reason they signed Trey Lance. Yeah. And I told you that before the beginning of the season, right? Because everyone was like, what the hell? Why would they sign Trey Lance?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why do you think? We're the one team that's gotten the better of them in the biggest moments they've had in the last few years.
Yeah.
Right? And so now Trey Lance has been with us a couple of years. They get to pick his brain about the Niners, our offense, the way we run things, right? So yeah. I thought that was the entire reason, right? Even though they got him on the super cheap, they still gave up a couple picks to get him.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought that was the entire reason that they did it, was to learn more about the Niners offense.
I mean, I haven't seen the line yet, but the last time I seen the line, it was 3. I think it was +3 for Dallas.
3.5. It was 3.5.
It was 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're obviously favored.
Yep.
But
just barely.
Yeah.
We pretty much only have home field advantage.
And I think the over/under is 40-something.
Yeah.
46
maybe? I think.
So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Yes, it's going to be. That's why I think it's going to be a defensive game, and I think it's going to be physical, because Parsons has something to prove.
But here's the thing, you know that the Niners, we're doing so well at home, it's not even close to anyone else in the NFL.
Yeah, I understand.
We've covered our home spread the last 9 games.
But let's be honest, we haven't been challenged like this.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
All
Not in the regular season. Not in the regular season.
All the lines that we had for all the other previous games have been like 7, 8, 10 points.
Oh, the last two were double digits.
Exactly.
12 and 14, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was 8 and 10.
No. Higher than that. Higher than that, for
Okay,
sure.
they might have changed game time then.
Giants, we were favored by 12. And then I'm pretty sure that the Rams, we were favored by 14.
No, it wasn't the Rams. It was Arizona. Arizona was 14.
Arizona, yeah.
The Rams were 8.
Correct, yes.
Okay. But yeah, like Dallas, this is going to be a defensive game for sure. And I think it's going to be physical too.
I've already told you my opinion. I think that Dallas is going to come out swinging, which means that the Niners are going to have to come out swinging.
I'm just hoping nobody gets injured.
Oh, same, dude.
Because
I definitely don't think this is as big a game
years.
for us as it is for Dallas.
Yeah.
This is their chance to prove that they can still do something.
The Niners and Dallas also have the 90s battle.
Yeah, the rivalry, the former rivalry. Yes, 100%.
It's just, yeah, it means a lot more.
Yeah, like look, besides us getting blown out, right? If we lose this game, I don't think there's anyone who follows the NFL who's going to be like, oh yeah, the Niners season is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
If Dallas loses this game, I think a lot of people are going to be like, "Hey, Dallas' season is." Now here's why. But here's why. Let me finish my thought. If you look at Dallas's schedule for the remaining games, after us, they're facing playoff caliber teams damn near back to back weeks, right? Four games right now, starting with the Niners, is a ridiculous stretch. Then they have 2 games where they're playing nobodies. And then they have 5 games, including the Eagles, right? The Bills, the Dolphins.
So it goes Chargers, then it goes the Rams, then it goes Eagles.
Yep.
Then it goes
so
Giants.
Niners, Chargers, Rams, Eagles. That's a hard stretch for any team.
So the stretch I think you're talking about is
the back 5.
The
back 5 is the worst.
The Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Lions.
Yep. And the Commanders.
And the Commanders. I don't know the Commanders right.
But it's a rivalry game. Like it's in the NFC East.
Yeah.
So those games are always tough. Just like us with the Rams, right? Or us with Seattle, or us with Arizona. Like those are hard games because you're in the same division.
Yeah.
So I do think that the Dallas Cowboys have the most difficult schedule remaining in the NFL. So
I wouldn't say the most difficult.
Who can you think of that has a harder schedule?
I don't know, but
bro, that back 5, dude.
I thought
the Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, the fuck it, who was it? The Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Commanders, and who was the last one?
It is you got Chargers.
No, that's
coming up next.
Yeah, that's coming up next. The back 5.
Lions.
The Lions. Bro, that's a fucking tough.
And they just got Williamson back.
Yeah.
For the... Well, he's actually right here.
Yeah.
And you just dropped that one.
Yeah. But that's a tough 5-game stretch, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if the Cowboys lose to the Niners, they fall to 3-2, right? And their schedule only gets harder from here on out. So if they lose it here, I think it's going to completely demoralize that team. And there will be a chance. Mark my words. If the Niners win tonight, especially if they win handily, they're going to be so off mentally, there will be a chance that they miss the playoffs. Period.
This whole week leading to this game, I always thought it was going to be like a statement game.
100%.
Where we could put like everybody at like...
Well, that's what I want.
Shut up.
But here, that's what I want.
That's
but
more
that's
of like
not
a
shy.
want.
That's not what Shanahan's about, though.
Now I'm
Shanahan
more about...
just wants to handle business.
Yeah, now I'm more worried about injuries. Just because if we lose anybody, season-ending injury or whatever, it's going to crumble us.
100%, dude. I don't think it'll crumble us, depending on who it is. If we lost Bosa,
like if we lost Bosa,
or Fred Warner,
we lost Fred.
Oof,
that would have been bad. What if we lost Bosa? It weakens the line.
A lot. Look what happened to the Dallas defense after Diggs got hurt. Right? Like it demoralized. Yes. So I definitely agree with you in that sense.
Imagine if we lost Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that, dude.
But I'm just saying
so much.
Losing Christian McCaffrey will bring us back down to a mediocre team.
Not mediocre.
Yeah,
just not the
Elijah
best.
Mitchell's hurt too.
I know, but I don't think it would take us to mediocrity because we still have Deebo Samuel.
Well, no, obviously we still have Debo, but I'll throw Debo back into that role
Yes.
of being a running back again.
I don't think we'll become a mediocre team, but we will not be the best anymore. We would just be one of the good teams in the NFL. Not the greatest, not the best. We would just be another good team.
Yeah.
Right?
We won't be a powerhouse.
Exactly. Whereas right now, we are literally the measuring stick for everyone else. Right? Like,
oh, shit.
Oh, Richardson. Hurt again? Jesus Christ. Isn't that 3 injuries in 3 weeks?
He's a rookie. He doesn't know how to take hits.
No, he does not. He's...
His shoulder, too.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's holding his hand. Okay, so...
Yeah.
Football. Any other interesting topics or points you can think of? I mean, really, this week, I think everyone would agree it's all about the Niners and Cowboys, but I also don't want to talk for the entire hour just about the Niners and Cowboys.
Yeah. It's already been
35 minutes.
Yeah.
No. So, we good with football?
Yeah.
All right. So, now here's the other big news, right? Which is the shit that's happening in Israel. What are
I don't know. I'm hearing.
Here's what I'll ask. Are you pro-Israel or pro-Palestine?
I'm pro me living for fucking.
Oh, yeah.
For the rest of my life.
Obviously.
I don't want
but
shit to kick
I don't
off.
think any war that happens there is going to really affect us in the long run.
It could spark off a lot of other wars, though.
Look, it's if there was another major country that was involved, I would agree.
Okay, so
I don't like that Palestine has fucking nukes.
So Ukraine is obviously going up against Russia.
Yes.
We're funding Ukraine. Obviously, that's our fucking war. We're just not fighting it.
Exactly.
Then
We're paying a whole other country to fight our war.
You also got China. You also got China.
Actually,
pushing up on Taiwan.
Here's the thing: we actually just had we just broke major ground with China in terms of repairing our relationship with them. Biden just made a big trade deal with them.
Still pushing up against Taiwan. That has nothing to do with us.
True, but Taiwan. Look, we do get resources from Taiwan, chips and things like that, electronic stuff for electronics. But as far as politically or big effect that they have on us, I don't think it's that much. Besides those little chips, which the whole world got affected by when Taiwan shut down, right? That's why cars weren't coming. That's why. Besides that, there isn't much that we do with Taiwan.
Did you just hear about that Russian jet that flew 75 feet away from our?
I did hear about that. Yes.
Our Navy.
I did hear about that. I also know that the crazier thing was, I couldn't believe that more people weren't talking about it, is when the attack submarines for China and for Russia were right off our coast in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That shit, or was it Alaska? I can't remember if it was
Alaska. Yeah.
Alaska, yeah. The fact that we didn't fucking go on full alert for that.
No, they did.
Like, those were nuclear capable subs.
Yeah. And
they were right fucking there. And the fact that we didn't go nuts for that shit, I was like, what?
They're for sure putting pressure.
Like, we're going to lose our shit over a fucking balloon over Minnesota or some shit. But when there's attack subs off the coast of Alaska that are nuclear capable, and we're not losing our shit, I was like, what? How the fuck does that equate? How is that the same? How is it even close to not being as important? Right?
To be honest with you, if we had somebody else in office, that none of that shit would have flied.
True, but here's the thing. And now getting into Biden versus Trump and all that, that's a whole fucking can of worms in itself. Now, I fucking hated both, just like I hated both when it was Hillary versus Trump. Right? I think that politics is run entirely with emotion, right? I think that people, for the most part, are completely retarded, right? They agree with everything on their side, even if they don't morally agree with it, just because it's coming from their side, right? Like, I know plenty of liberals who are against abortion, except they have to be for abortion because they consider themselves a Democrat.
Because their views are party
right?
views.
Where you can't, like, why can't you be morally against abortion like I am, right? I'm morally, in my heart, I do feel like it's killing a living thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, until science can definitively say when life begins, until that moment comes, it should be entirely the choice of the woman. Right? If science tomorrow could be with 100% certainty, be like, life begins at week 8. Right? That's a life. At that moment, you should no longer be able to have an abortion. But until that moment comes when we can say definitively when life begins, then the woman should be able to make the choice about her body.
How many weeks in do you, or how many months in until you get an ultrasound?
I think it's like
Months or weeks?
I think it's
months.
weeks. I think it's like 6 weeks, or where you can actually prove on an ultrasound that you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think it's like 6 weeks.
I think it's to that point. Once there's a heartbeat, that's a living. That's living.
I don't know, dude. Then, see, here's why I disagree with that. There's plenty of people whose heart is still beating that are on machines, even though they're dead.
That's different because you can sign a DNR.
No, I'm talking about people who've been in accidents. Like, they can't sign shit. They're brain dead, right? But their heart is still beating.
In that same instance of your brain dead, who do they go to next?
Your next of kin,
Exactly.
which is the mom.
Is the mom's choice.
And that's what I'm saying. It's the mom's choice.
That's what I'm saying.
Up until the point when they can say when life begins.
When science can figure out when.
Yes.
I think it's when the heartbeat goes off.
But
once
again,
the heartbeat starts to pump,
morally.
Once it starts to pump, that's a living.
Again, morally, I agree.
Yeah.
Right? Morally, in my heart, that's what I believe. I do think it's a living thing, and killing it is killing a living thing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not against the death penalty, right? Like, I don't have this sacred fucking belief of life.
Certain people need that.
I do think certain people should be gone. Like I feel like there are people out there that if they just disappeared from the earth, that we would be better for.
I think life would be better without you.
I do. I know that's a controversial thing to say, right? But I do. I believe in the death penalty. I think, and I actually think you should take it one step farther, right?
How do you take it one step farther?
But here's why. And I actually kind of love this because I think a lot of people would be for it. If you murder someone, your fate should be in the hands of their surviving relatives. Here's the thing. Because I think that it would actually give them peace.
All right, throw a scenario up. We're driving in a car, right?
We're driving in a car.
I'm not.
No, I'm talking about murder.
I'm saying, okay.
Okay.
We're driving a car. We're totally sober, right? We get in a car accident. The insurance company says it was our fault.
Okay.
You die. I'm sorry, you're the one that had to go, but you got to go.
Thanks.
You die, right? I'm the driver. I'm responsible for
But that's not murder.
It's not. I understand that, but it's still, I killed you. That's not murder, like it's not first degree or anything like that. But
killing me by accident is not the same thing as killing me intentionally. That's why I'm saying murder. The line should be at murder.
So you're talking about like first degree murder.
Yes. If you murder someone, then their family should be able to decide what happens to you. Accident is an accident. I'm not saying that it's not heartbreaking. I'm not saying it's not painful. But I'll tell you what. If my family member or my loved one died in an accident versus being murdered, right? Mentally speaking, you have two very different reactions.
So what would that? So say we were driving and I was drunk and you ended up passing away, and I was drunk.
Yes, and I'm not saying that you didn't make a massive mistake.
No, it wasn't an accident though. I was drunk and I got into my feelings and I said, "Fuck this! I don't want to live anymore." And I decided to drive the car off the.
Oh, that's murder.
That's murder.
That's 100% murder. It's like that chick, chick who just killed her boyfriend and his best friend.
But I'm drunk and I didn't know that you were passed out you were passed out in the back trunk too.
Okay, I mean, how do you prove that though?
I'm just trying to throw little curveballs at you. You know what I'm saying?
But how do you prove that? Like, there's no way to prove that you didn't know I was in the car, right?
I mean, obviously the night we started, the night was just regular. You got drunk. You ended up going to the car. You passed out in the back. I didn't know you were there. You thought you got a ride home. I got drunk and I decided to drive for some stupid reason.
How do you prove that?
Yeah,
I understand that might be what happened, but how do you prove it? There'd be no way to prove that to a jury.
Yeah.
Right? Just like that chick.
Well, that's for sure not proven. I drove off a cliff. We ain't proving shit.
But like I said, that's literally what just happened with that chick, her boyfriend, and his best friend. She drove into like a fucking tree or some shit. You didn't hear about this?
No.
Oh, look this shit up. She just got found guilty for murder. So she was upset and she fucking drove into a tree or a brick wall or some shit, killed her, like she meant to kill herself and them, but she ended up killing her boyfriend and his best friend. And so she was found guilty for murder.
Oh, pops out right there.
Yeah.
Girl drives into a brick wall.
Yeah.
Ohio woman convicted of murder
Yep.
in the death of her boyfriend and her friend after authorities said that she deliberately slammed her car into a brick wall at 100 miles per hour.
Yep.
She's sentenced for 15 years to life in prison.
Yeah.
And she was 19.
Yeah. Which I actually think is bullshit. I really am sick of women doing heinous shit and getting such small sentences compared to men.
I mean, I personally feel that now the day and age and how we feel, how people in society feel like, oh, treat us equally and stuff like that. I agree with it. You know what I mean? Not just with the wage payments or stuff like that. I'm talking about with everything.
Well,
You're a human being.
The pay gap was a myth. We all know that now.
No, I'm just talking about what people are arguing about.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that everybody used to argue about the pay gap and everything like that, and now people are talking about, oh, like we just talked about this last night, holding the door open, and some women would probably be like, oh,
they get offended.
I could do it myself.
Oh my god, that
but
shit drives me up the
given
wall.
us, we were raised to be
gentlemen.
morally gentlemen.
We were raised to be gentlemen.
To be, hey, you first, ma'am.
Yeah, you can't pay a chick a compliment
you hit somebody
without someone else calling you a creep.
You hear somebody, you first, ma'am. You might get into
now.
it.
Yes, nowadays you'll
Not
get into
saying that you're calling a transgender person a ma'am. It's just some people are like, hey, that's not my pronoun or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
there's but
so
I
many
believe
things equal to straight flat on the board.
Yes.
Like if you're going to be in a certain,
if you murder a person, you should get the same sentence that a fucking man would get.
Yes.
The fact that she killed 2 people on purpose and only got 15 years. If that was a man driving that fucking car, he'd be in jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
That shit pisses me off. You have fucking so many instances of kids killing mothers killing their children. Have you seen what's going on, dude? Fucking, there's videos of women who are just like, oh, I don't want to be their mother anymore. Dropping them off at their ex's house or their mother's house and shit, and just like, oh, I don't want to be a parent.
Yeah.
Right?
Not been held accountable.
Exactly.
But if a man did that, it would have been different.
Right? He would be sued for
they would even
alimony. He would be served for child support, all that shit. But women, for some reason, don't get any of that shit. Like, you got to be kidding me with that bullshit.
It's got to be equal.
Yes.
All the way through.
And here's the thing. I am for equality, but if you are going to be that kind of person, right? If you want things to be equal, you better fucking deal with the consequences of equality.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to go traditional, then you got to do the same shit. You got to live by the traditional ways.
Yeah.
Right? You can't want the modern equality when it benefits you, but fucking traditional respect when it comes to how lightly you're treated for certain things.
You can't have it here and there. You have to have it straightforward. Like, you
Yes.
can't just pick out what you want.
Yeah. And like, for instance, when this whole trans topic started becoming a thing, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how you feel, but I felt like most women were for it. Right? Trans, like social justice warriors. And now they're starting to see how it affects them as far as trans people in bathrooms, trans people in sports, all this shit, right? And now they're starting to be like, hey, no, this isn't okay.
Yeah.
Right? I just saw an article about these guys who went to this job fair, right? It was a fair for women in tech. And so all these dudes showed up, and they were like, oh, we're non-binary. So that they could get the jobs too.
See,
like that, you know what I mean?
I understand. But at the same time, the 3 guys that went over there to do that were just pushing limits. You know, it was intentional.
It wasn't just 3 guys.
Who'd you say?
It was a bunch of guys.
Okay, so a bunch of guys. They were pushing limits. So
it was so bad that because it was guys who were running this, and the guy was like, "Oh, we want to work with and for women," which is perfectly fine if you want to do that. I do think it's sexist to not allow men to come in. Right? If men had a job fair for men, everyone would lose their shit.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have one only for women, fine, whatever. I mean, that's up to them. But the problem was so bad that the guys who were running the fucking event came on stage and were like, hey, there are men here who are taking advantage of the situation, calling themselves non-binary, right? Like, so that's how big that issue was.
So that's another thing. How can you prove that they're not non-binary?
Genetically. That's why. Like, I'm sorry. Again, science.
Yeah.
This whole trans topic, I do think it's sad. Those, you know, what happens with people like that. I don't think you should hurt anyone else for any reason like that. But just because you say you're a woman does not make you a woman.
Yeah.
Right? Just because you say you're a man does not make you a man.
Yeah.
There's something called chromosomes and genetics. If you are born a male, you're a male. Just because you feel a certain way does not make you a certain way. Right?
What if you go through the whole...
Have you heard of this whole horrexual, I think it's called?
No, I haven't heard of that.
These fucking whores who identify as virgins now.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's fucking retarded.
That's wild.
Right? I identify as a virgin. No, bitch. Are you a fucking virgin or not? I identify as a virgin.
Yeah, no.
So you're saying you probably had 100 dicks in your mouth, but now you found God, and you want to be seen as a virgin to increase your value. Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, you're still a fucking whore.
Yeah.
Or you were a whore.
You can't take back what you've already done.
Right? Exactly. Like, I don't understand why men have to live with their mistakes. We have to take those consequences in stride. Right? Whereas women don't feel that they need to, or that they should. Right? Like, it's again, I'm for equality. I'm for you having all the same respect and treatment and opportunities as men. 100%. I feel like it makes us better if women have that.
Yeah.
But if you want that, you better fucking live with the consequences.
You have to.
It kind of takes me back to the time, like...
You have to accept it all.
Exactly. Like again, I brought this up multiple times. Do you know who was the biggest opponent to women getting the right to vote back in the early 1900s? Other fucking women. Do you know why? Because there was something that came along with the right to vote. If you had the right to vote, you had the responsibility to get drafted in war.
So now
And
that's
women didn't want that
That's
shit.
another topic that's coming up now.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
women still don't have that responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? Women are not eligible for they're not responsible to get drafted.
See, that's another
Only
thing.
men.
That's another thing I don't get though.
Uh-huh.
You can register as a woman to be a part of the about
Yes.
the service, but now you
They
can't
just can't force you to join.
You can't draft, but you can force a man to draft.
Yes.
That makes no sense.
Exactly.
It's like you open.
Exactly.
It's like you open the window, and you open that door of opportunity to go ahead and be a part of the service. But when it comes to draft and it gets real intense and we're ready to go to war, World War III, whatever. Now it's not okay to do that.
You know what
Why?
it is? It's exactly like one of my favorite comedians is Bill Burr, right? He makes the joke. There's no feminists in a house fire. When the house is burning down, they put their hair in little pigtails. I'm a woman, save me first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Titanic, save the women and children first. Right?
Yeah.
Like when danger comes around, there's no such thing as equality for some reason. Yeah. Like, bitch, you wanted this. You fucking better be ready to fight for it.
Crazy thing about that is the Titanic situation.
Yes.
That happened so long ago. You know why? It's to hold save the women and children.
Well, yeah, because before it's women
can reproduce.
Exactly. That's
and
the
the
only
kids
reason.
have their future.
Yes.
The men, it's just
exactly because men are not valued.
Exactly.
And there's look. I'm not saying that men should be like particularly valued. Like, we're men. We're used to it.
Yeah.
We're used to.
Did you see that?
Every time we step out the door, there's always the threat of physical violence. Correct?
Yes, there is for sure.
Always.
Because
always.
Yeah.
On any given day, you might have to fight for your life.
Yeah.
We were bouncers, right? How many times do we get into serious physical fights? Brawls, where it was like, hey, it's you or me.
But don't get it wrong. There was that one girl who was a bouncer too at the wagon.
Oh, Jen?
I forgot her name.
Yeah, Jen. Her name was.
She
was a bad bitch.
She got down.
If anything, I would have fucked the shit out of her. She was so fine because she was ready to get down.
At Voodoo, there was another individual.
But she wasn't. She wasn't a badass.
She used to get down at Voodoo.
I mean, she would, but she wasn't a badass. Like Jen,
she
would fucking handle her shit, dude. I saw Jen.
What I'm just saying is that there's females there that can work in that field too.
Yes, and I'm not saying there aren't.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is if you want equality, fucking act like it. You can't want equality when it helps you and not when it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how shit works.
Yeah.
That's not equality. You want to be better than men.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. So, all I'm saying is, like, look. You want to be treated like men? Fucking handle it. Step your shit up. Stop being so fucking emotional, right? Like,
the problem is people think that they have options. It's like if you take that route,
women think they have options.
Well, no,
they all think they're fucking tens. Guys don't think that way, bro. We know. If you're ugly as a man, you know.
Hey, this generation's different, bro. It's completely.
I still have hope for this generation. I still
have
hope that they can come back from this bullshit that they've been since right after our generation.
I'm not saying that they don't have hope. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have hope for the generation. I have a hope for the future, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's not just women, it's also men too. The men aspect of the population nowadays is softening a lot.
Oh, yeah, they're super feminized.
Exactly.
They're super feminized.
Yeah.
Women actually find men with more feminine qualities more attractive.
Yeah.
Like, they like this K-pop shit. They want men who wear makeup. Again, not all women.
Yeah.
There are some women who like actually men. Masculine men.
Yeah.
But again, when it comes down to a serious situation, do you want that motherfucker from that K-pop band coming in to save your ass?
See,
or do you want a fucking firefighter with a beard coming in to save your ass?
No, here's the crazy thing about that.
What?
Is that nowadays, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts, can be found in anybody.
True.
So at the same time, those K-pops could be professional grapplers.
Here's the thing. Look, I don't care what anyone says.
You can't judge a book by its cover, like I'm saying.
You're right. But that dude weighs $130. If he came up against a guy like me, who, even if I didn't have wrestling training and fighting and all that kind of shit, even though I didn't have any of that, I still outweigh him by at least twice his size. That does account for way more than his skill. Because all I got to do is get one hand on it.
I don't know.
That's like saying in a street fight, would Floyd Mayweather Jr. stand a chance against me? Or would I stand a chance against him? If you think that I wouldn't absolutely demolish that man, then you're a fucking idiot who's never been in a fight. Because size does matter after a certain point. It does matter after a certain point.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I kind of feel like there's a bet here where if we can find a professional grappler that is half your size, I mean,
and again,
you have a wrestling background.
Yes,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
But again, here's what I'm saying:
if you can control the wrist, you control the whole motion of your body.
But here's what I'm saying: as long as I had a bare minimum knowledge on how to fight, that would be the case. If I had absolutely no knowledge, then yes, in those situations, I do think that the knowledge will outweigh the size.
Yeah.
But if you even have a little bit of an understanding how a real fight works, right? Because there's also a lot of people who think boxing in a gym, fighting in a gym, professionally is how a street fight goes down.
No.
It is nothing like that.
There's no rules.
It is nothing like that. Something my dad taught me when I was very young, right? In a street fight, there's only two options. There's only two outcomes. Mm-hmm. Either your life is in the other guy's hands or his life is in yours.
Yeah.
Which do you want? You better do whatever the fuck it takes to come out on top.
Yeah.
So that his life is in your hands.
Yeah.
Right? That's what a street fight is. Right? And that's what I was saying about every time you step outside, you're gonna get those looks up and down. Especially us as big guys. I always see guys measuring me up, sizing me up.
It happens all day.
All day long. All fucking day. It's everywhere we go.
If you just were to sit back,
guys in their head, the way they think is like, oh, I could take them.
Exactly. That's just like how females look at other females and we're like, and they're looking
I'm better looking than her.
Like, oh yeah, I'm better looking than that. Look, why is she wearing that with that type of thing?
Yeah.
Guys do the same thing, but not based off of looks, just based off the size.
Yeah.
You size up, just in your head.
Yeah, I can take them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
That's what it is. Even if you were sitting at the mall and just and you just kick back.
If a dude walks by you, it happens.
No, you just kick back and you sit at the mall and you just people watch.
Yeah.
You're constantly thinking, yeah, I could probably take that guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'd
But
squash the fuck
that's
out
what I'm
of that.
saying. That's just the life of a guy.
Yeah.
Women will never understand that, right? But look, it's already been an hour. That went super quick, right?
Yeah.
That went
Yeah,
super
hella
fast, right?
Crazy.
But anyways, hey, thank you.